leftist Americans should be protesting the way the French protest. You know, actually fighting cops and rioting and you know, telling the government what they want and actually getting it. But in the United States, being a little rowdy, it means your protest, quote unquote, has no merit anymore. It's like, look at over in France. They will literally fight cops, and the government's like, okay, yeah, we will listen to you because we want you to stop, fighting our cops and you know protesting against us.
Across the country tonight, French cities grinding to a halt. In the capital, thousands of people taking to the streets after French President Emmanuel Macron forced through an unpopular bill that raises the retirement age from 62 to 64 years old. And he did it without a vote.
This is what the Republicans in the United States wants to do: raise the retirement age, effectively making cuts to people's retirements.
Protesters tonight throwing bottles at a police barricade and setting tires on fire. Police responding with tear gas and water cannons. Across every major city tonight, similar scenes. A woman in Lyon saying the air was so thick with tear gas she couldn't breathe.
C'est dégueulasse quoi. On se dit à quoi ça sert d'avoir une Assemblée nationale.
Thursday afternoon, France's Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne, an ally of Macron, triggering a constitutional tool that allowed the bill through with no floor vote.
On ne peut pas faire de paris sur l'avenir de nos retraites. Cette réforme est nécessaire.
The uproar immediate. Opposition members shutting down Parliament, belting the French national anthem. Macron has long insisted the reforms are essential to ensure the pension system doesn't collapse. Mathematically speaking, the argument is the country will not be able to support future generations.
Yeah, just tax the rich and put that towards people's pension funds. It's hilarious how people claim that we have to force the elderly people to have less money in the retirement age because somehow there's not enough money to fund the pensions, yet nations can give rich people, tons and tons of money. It's just like in the United States.
In the last 3 months alone, there have been 8 consecutive national strikes. Millions of French workers, from teachers to police to refinery workers, have joined in. A recent poll by AFP finds a majority of the French support the protest movement against pension reform, and 59% support bringing the country to a standstill over it.
Wow, so more than half the nation is willing to bring the nation to a halt to prevent this from passing. That's what needs to go on in the United States when Congress tries to pass these really bad bills in. But, we've continually been led to believe that we have to be completely peaceful whatsoever and just basically just beg the government to please, please, please help us.
Streets of Paris littered with trash. Garbage collectors also striking, leaving more than 6,000 tons of waste on the streets, according to Paris City Hall.
If we encounter more garbage, though, we'll probably visit other parts of the city because we don't want to smell it.
France.
What they need to do is take all that garbage and put it on Macron's property. Let him deal with that.
Civil Aviation has asked airlines to reduce flights from Paris's Orly airport by 20% today. Travelers have been told to expect disruptions due to the strikes. But the unions and the protesters keeping the pressure on. We will continue, this man says. At the end of the day, our needs and our demands.
Now, Tom, as far as what happens next, politically speaking, the opposition now has 24 hours to put forward a vote of no confidence. That's incredibly rare in France, but if it passes, it brings down not only Macron's government, but also the president himself. Out on the street, though, protests will continue, and actually the protest down at La Place de la Concorde apparently is going to start moving up the Champs-Élysées. Across the country, protests tonight have brought cities to a standstill, and the unions, Tom, have announced they will protest and strike again tomorrow.